Hey, happy day. I was not going to do a show today. I've been at the gun range all afternoon having fun, shooting targets and having a blast, don't you know? But then on the way back, I listened to the radio and I got all fired up. So I thought, I'm going to do a show. Here I am doing one of those. And you know what? Whatever I tell you, I may be wrong, but I doubt it. Just saying, hang in there because I got stuff. In Los Angeles, California, the U.S. of A. I was in there yesterday on business. My house is about 90 miles east of L.A., and L.A. is kind of a big place. There's 4 million people that live within the city, but there's almost 20 million people that live in the CSA, which stands for Combined Statistical Area. It's called the City of Angels. I've never met any angel in L.A. I'm an angel. Hey, I'm the only one I've ever seen, but let me tell you about their issues. They got lots of issues, but there are over 20,000 people there that work for the City of L.A. that make more than $150,000 a year. And there's all kinds of homeless people. It's upwards now to the hundreds of thousands of people, more than 100,000 at least. And there's 737 people on staff, and their job on staff with, I should finish that sentence, shouldn't I? On staff with the Los Angeles Housing and Community Investment Department. And their job is just to go out and help the homeless people, and their combined salaries are almost $60 million a year. How's that working for you? The director of that company or that entity earns a salary of $255,000 a year, plus of course benefits and so on, right? His job is to go out and build places for these people to live. So he's done that. He built 7,600 units last year. And with the consultant fees and construction overruns, they cost upwards to $570,000 per unit. I don't know the footage, but apparently they're under 1,000 square feet. So that works out to, call it $650, maybe $700 a square foot. Construction costs in LA should be in the $200 to $250 per square foot range. So just more stupid stuff. Let me share this with you, and this is factual stuff. In old England, executioners chopped the heads off of sentenced prisoners, and often condemned would pay the axeman to make a clean cut, because often they didn't. It took 2 or 3 attempts to off with the head stuff, right? Yuck, I know, but it's true. And what's also true, the term severance pay actually came from there. You're going to sever my head, I will pay you to make sure that you do it properly. It's a gruesome fact that I wasn't going to mention, but hey, I am a mentioner, and I thought, I lost my head. You all should know about it. Work hard, never get fired. You don't want severance pay. Just say it. Government in the US of A. Government to business owners. Sorry, we ruined your life. Here's a check for $600. Pretty much says it. Ottawa, Canada, recently was written about in the Wall Street Journal, and they said this in the US of A. They said the Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau is betting his political future on a shift further to the left. How do you go further left? If you get too far left, you're a dictator. And socialism is communism in a hurry. And Trudeau's there, and there's no pushback. It's amazing. He's destroyed the country. It's amazing. Before the health crisis, Trudeau positioned himself, this is still the Wall Street Journal, as a progressive with an emphasis on promoting gender equality, combating racism, and fighting climate change. Okay, pretty accurate, and giving all the Canadians money to other countries. They should have added that. Now he's shifting his agenda into a very high gear, which will make one of the biggest leftward moves in Canadian federal politics history. He's going to screw the country up forever. Somebody needs to help. Who is that? Somebody needs to do it, and do it real fast. Canada, COVID, control, the public shaming that our government officials are blatantly encouraging is deplorable. There are deplorable people in Canada as well. The only ones that could fix this would be the Conservative Party of Canada, but they're not really conservative. We need help in Canada. Who's going to do that? I mean, I use a wishbone for the Conservative Party to grow a backbone, which really was a funny bone, and make no bones about it. They're boneheads. You need somebody to stand up and cowboy up and say, that's enough. And it's not just the federal politicians. We're talking here pushback from mayors, council people in cities and towns and villages and premiers and MLAs, and everybody that's in an elected position needs to be heard. I mean, your country is going down in flames. They're changing it. The fundamentals have changed. You have a dictator running the country. He's changing everything. You're not even allowed to say bad things. I mean, I'm censored soon. I won't even be allowed to talk like this, probably. It's not good. Pushback, pushback. I mean, look what they're doing now with Canadian citizens. They're not even allowing people, Canadians, back in the country unless they follow all of these silly rules that they have going on. And I'm one of them, and I would like to go back someday so I can have a hand in helping Alberta separate, because you need a model in Canada to get away from all these commies, right? But if I go back, me as an example, I have to pay for security guard to stand at my door for 24 hours a day for 3 days to make sure that I don't escape, and I have to pay for that. Boy, a lot of people say, well, they did that in where was it, Australia or someplace? New Zealand? I don't know. They work there. Come on, they're a bunch of commies too. I mean, there are rights that you should not be able to take from people. I need to assess my own risk and act accordingly, right? So now I have to pay for a guard to guard me at a hotel. And then after 3 days, I get to go to my house in the same town that I own, and then I have to sit there for 2 weeks, and then some other commie comes and knocks on my door all the time to make sure that I'm actually there. Kind of sounds like prison. Oh, and the prisoners, they get COVID, the vaccinations or the vaccines rather, they get it first. And a lot of them have actually been released because of COVID, but because of COVID, I have to go to jail. You too, if you're out of Canada. What do you think of all of that? I mean, are the inmates running the asylum? Maybe. Push back. Push back. Do it hard, because there's not much time left, but y'all have a good day, have a good life. See ya.